COVID-19 or not, Ghanaians are heeding the call of their president to come out and vote massively for whoever they want to represent them, to lead them for the next 4 years, both at the executive arm and at the legislative arm. We're here at the Christ the King Church at the cantonment area of in the center of Accra, where we have 2 polling units. It's a big premises, and Ghanaians have been trooping in right from the time that polling started, which was about 7 a.m. today, and they've been coming in here to exercise their franchise. If you just look at the entrance gate here, just by my right, you see right from there the gentlemen security guards that are stationed there actually check everybody that is coming into this place to ensure that they have their voter ID card with them, so that, you know, at the same time they are sure that it is the right place for them to observe the voting. And as they come in, as they step into the premises, there, you know, there are containers of water placed there, and washing liquid to actually comply with the COVID-19 protocols that have been set by the authorities here in Ghana. And you can't come in here without your nose mask on. You just said it a few moments ago that I had to pull my nose mask down to my chin to be able to talk to you, so I can be audible enough. That's the process. And when the chair of the Electoral Commission was addressing the nation yesterday, she actually made mention of the fact that people should strictly observe the COVID-19 protocols, sanitize their hands, use their nose masks, so that they ensure that even as they come out here to choose their leaders today, everybody's remain safe and they don't fall victim of that deadly virus. And she even went as far as saying that the commission will be providing nose masks to people, voters at the rural area of Ghana who are ready to exercise their franchise. So that's where we are. So right behind me, if you just look, that's a polling unit there. People have been going in there, show your voter ID, you get accredited, get your ballot paper, go and vote for your choice of president, and at the same time, when you're done with that, you go back and vote for whoever your parliament representative is that you want to choose. You go ahead. So that's the process here. And people have been conducting themselves. There has not been any incident so far, and they don't expect any at all as we go on.
Tokunboh, it's good to see you've acclimatized very well. You look like part and parcel of the environment there. Before we talk a bit more about the process, I saw that in your brief report, you were interviewing people about the issues that were key to them. Can you give us a sense of what the key issues that are coming up among the people who are coming out to vote? What are the key issues that are coming up repeatedly?
It's a potpourri of issues for the people. The expectations are very, very high. Of course, Ghana is on the rise. It's a known fact in Africa that it's a shining example of what, you know, democratic setting should be. And even as far as economy is concerned, Ghana is rising. But the people are still not satisfied. They want a leadership that will be able to address all the core issues, beginning with infrastructure, provision of employment, especially for the large population of the youth. You know that 57% of the Ghanaian population, a little over 30 million, you know, at the 2018 statistics given, 57% of those people are below the age of 25, according to the UN statistics. So people actually want a leadership that will focus very much on employment opportunity for the youth. The issue of education is actually a big issue that worries Ghanaians, especially the youth. They want a leadership that will be able to address good, solid education to lay a very solid foundation for the younger generation. At the same time, the issue of healthcare is a very big issue for them. And last but not the least, the list I'm giving you is not exhaustive though, is the issue of economy. They actually are worried about the negative effect that the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic on the entire world has had on their own economy specifically. You know, I told some of our colleagues earlier in the day that there was a forecast by the International Monetary Fund a 1.5 shrink in the economy of Ghana for the year 2020, in stark contrast with the 6.5 growth that was witnessed in the same economy in the previous year. So the issue of economy, rejigging the economy, revitalizing the economy after the effect of post-COVID-19 is a very, very paramount issue to the people. And everybody that we have interacted with, they all want a leadership that will be able to tackle head-on the issue of revitalizing their economy. And at the same time, a very big issue is that of corruption. Of course, it's a big issue across Africa, and it's the same here in Ghana. People want a government that will be bold enough to actually tackle corruption headlong by looking inward, by being clean enough. I mean, those who are in government themselves, they should be clean enough to be able to ensure that the entire nation is free of corruption. Those are the issues that I think in the immediate, the Ghanaians will want, whoever will lead them for the next 4 years should be able to address headlong.
Kumbo, let's talk about the picture that I am watching. It's quite interesting that they're getting the people to sit down and be comfortable before they go to vote. I was wondering whether there were voters, but I think from what I can see, there are voters. Talk to us about it.
Indeed, that's the situation. It's quite a good side to look at. You see voters that are very, very comfortable. They feel so secure, so safe, strolling into these premises. I must tell you that at each of the polling units, you can only find a security personnel, either a police officer or another personnel from any of the security agencies to actually man the polling unit. They are not armed because they are not expecting any situation at all, any event at all. They are not expecting. So it's the same feeling for the average voter in Ghana. They stroll into the polling center feeling comfortable as long as they have their voter ID. Even if you don't have your voter ID, as long as you can prove that your biometric data are on the system of the Electoral Commission, like the chairman of the Electoral Commission, Mrs. Mensah, said yesterday, if they are able to check that your data are on their system, you'll be able to vote. So it's a friendly environment, it's a cool environment, it's calm. Everybody is just waiting. If it's not your turn, you're on the queue. If you move beyond the queue, there are chairs for you to just sit so that you wait for your turn and you go in there, get accredited, and move on to do your voting. That's the way it is. That's what we are saying here, and we learned that is the way it is across Ghana. That there is never any issue going into the polling unit to exercise your rights.
Wow. Quite nice. Quite
fascinating.
And some people sitting down, to go vote. On that way, you have people standing.
It's almost like something we can't relate to. But however, having said that, when I read up a bit about their processes, I could see that it mirrors some of ours, where they started with opaque boxes, and then they moved to transparent ones, and then they have the cards, and then they also have the biometric system as well. But is that where we part ways from them at that point? Do they have issues around voter fraud and rigging, or is it the way you've described? Does it just carry on peacefully and civilly from here onwards?
Yeah, let's give an example of our experience back in Nigeria, where you guys are. Where you normally have issues, on election day, mostly to start with is the accreditation process, when some people who think they get to the polling center where they registered and where they expect to vote, they get there and they can't find their names on the register. Trouble starts from there, okay? That's, it now escalates. But what we're seeing here, I think the commission actually envisaged that if there could be situations like that, because during the process of auditing the voter register, they found some anomalies, and they tried to deal with such anomalies. So they looked well ahead that anything that will bring about any form of rank or any kind of argument, any kind of situation that may distract the voters and the officials from here, they dealt with. They removed about 800,000 names of prospective voters from the national register because of one issue or the other. But what they did, that was I think about two months back, what they did eventually was to set up review committees, review panels that would review that particular development that happened. That's removing the names of those people, so that anybody that has a counter case can come and submit their protest. Which so that's part of the process. That's part of the process they put in place to ensure that a day like this will come with minimal or no issue at all, apart from just coming here to take your vote. So the commission, you can give it to the commission that they had looked at what could possibly distract them on a day like this, and they had handled it. So that is why you come to the polling center on a day like this, and you don't have anybody complaining. Even if anybody is complaining, there is still a measure put in place to actually accommodate the complaint and see if the complaint is genuine. If it's genuine, you actually vote, as long as they can find your data on the system of the electoral commission. So what's another? The only issue that we heard from people is that, well, voting in Ghana is always very is always very smooth, like this. But the only time you can have any kind of protest, any kind of issue, is during counting. That's people when people are getting results that are contrary to their expectation, there will be some kind of protest, but not the kind of protestation that would degenerate really. So generally, we can say that what we are seeing here, we expect throughout the day and post the voting exercise today. Ekene?
All right, Tokunbo. John Mensah, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, who also actually doubles as a returning officer for the presidential election, actually, she wants parties and the media not to announce result. What more can you tell us about this? Has there been precedents that made her to issue others warning? What are the factors surrounding this particular warning of the chairperson?
I didn't get that, Ndi. Could you take that again?
I will. The chairperson, John Mensah, is warning political parties and the media not to announce results. She also doubles, of course, as the returning officer for the presidential election. She's warning them, don't announce results. And I'm asking, has there been precedents? What surrounds, or what's the reason for her warning? Has there been precedents?
Not that I can tell you in the immediate, Ndi. You see, I guess the warning is coming from the assurance, the assurance the commission is giving the Ghanaian population, the Ghanaian populace and the entire world, that the result of this exercise will be ready in the next 24 hours. So if the result will be ready in the next 24 hours, 24 hours, instead of the normal 3-4 days that it normally takes, she's assuring that it will be ready in 24 hours. So if the result will be ready in 24 hours, what is the need for anybody to actually rush to start?
Who is pressing that the media are following? Who is that woman? Is it Mensah or one of the candidates? Just wanted to get you to tell us who that is.
Correct. Yeah, Ndi, I learned that is the current vice president. That is the wife of the current vice president of the Federal Republic of Ghana that is coming into this arena to cast her vote. That's why you see, of course, a VIP. That's why you see a retinue of aides and security guards that accompany her. So that's quite understandable. So probably that explains part of the reason why everywhere is so calm here. But from what we gathered else, from other voting centers too, the calm that we witness here is being repeated in other areas. So it's not only here. Okay. Ghana is cool and calm for now, except for a report that we had earlier somewhere in Takoradi, where some youth actually came out to block the road saying they were not going to vote because they are tired of voting for politicians who will not attend to their needs. The point they made was that their road was such in a bad state and they are not going to vote. But that was handled immediately, and everything was normalcy was returned to the area. Ndi.
Okay, Tokunbo. Yeah, Tokunbo, maybe in due course you'll get us to have some interaction with some of the people around the polling booth there. But in the meantime, speaking of first ladies, I was intrigued by the fact that former President Rawlings, his widow, is part of the presidential candidates there.
Yes.
Is it stirring up any intrigue? Are there people who are loyal to her because of her husband's position in the past?
That's absolutely correct, Ekene. You see, part of the most interesting points in this current exercise going on in Ghana is the participation of women in the process. 3 women are contesting as presidential candidates today, including the wife of the widow of the former leader, Jerry Rawlings. People are excited. Ghanaians are very, very much excited that women indeed are coming out because of the sentiment that anywhere women are, they bring some spice to the situation. So Ghanaians are very, very much excited. She has her supporters. The other contestants too, they equally have their supporters, and they are hoping that even if they don't achieve much at this time, the courage that they have to actually come out to contest, to be part of the contestation here today, is a thing to build on for Ghanaian democracy to actually develop and move forward.
Tokunbo, more than 17 million eligible Ghanaians are voting today for a new president, but you have about 12 presidential candidates, and then of course you have about 275 members of parliament with 38,000 polling stations and 16 regions. What more can you tell us about all that?
Wow, that's you're very, very correct. Over 17 million voters, compared to the turnout last during the last general election. 15 million people came out to vote, and the Electoral Commission is expecting much more. In fact, they're expecting about between 85 and 90% of the eligible voters to actually come out and participate in this process today. That is what they are looking at. So it just tells you something about voter turnout in Ghana. Everybody's excited. There was a clip we recorded much earlier of a gentleman, a professor emeritus, a former vice chancellor of the University of Ghana, a 3-time minister of the Federal Republic of Ghana. If you don't mind, Ndi, can we quickly be part of the process of taking the view of the wife of the vice president on the process that she has just witnessed now?
Go ahead, and then if you can get 1 or 2 people who have voted to talk about the election and their experience, would also love that.
My name, even though I didn't use my card, but I wanted to test the system and it actually worked. So far, I'm happy with what I've seen.
Going through the process, was it cumbersome?
No, it's very smooth and orderly, and I can see that it's going as planned, and so we're happy.
I don't know whether you've observed from other polling stations, the reports you've gathered so far, what you've monitored so far, and you've not gone through the day yet, but how do you see the result?
Well, from the media reports so far, most of the reports we're getting is that it's been smooth so far. So we encourage all Ghanaians to get out and vote and conduct themselves in a very orderly manner and follow the protocols that have been set out and exercise their civic responsibility.
Madam, so at the end of the day, you expect victory for the team of your husband today?
Yes, I'm encouraged by the protocols put in place, and it's for all our good. So we should all abide by them.
You expect victory for your husband's team today at the end of the day?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for talking to us. Well, we could see it's a crowd of reporters here who are only able to manage a question to throw at her. She's expecting that at the end of the day, victory is going to be for her husband's team, which is the team of the incumbent president, Nana Akufo-Addo. Ndi, that's the wife of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who has just finished casting her vote.
Federal Republic of Ghana, I'm sure you mean.
To journalist.
Yeah, Tokunbo.
Federal Republic of Ghana. Pardon me.
And I was commending you for having made a smooth transition. You're still here with us. Tokunbo, not to take anything away from what they've achieved in terms of logistics, but I just want to set it in context. Even when we're talking of 17 million, that's sort of, and I just looked it up, they have a population of about just over 31 million. When you compare it with what we have here, you're dealing with 200 million. The whole of Ghana, I guess, if it's safe to say, is I think 1/3 above the size of the population of Lagos. So in terms of logistics and what they're having to take on, it pales in comparison to what we have to deal with here in Nigeria, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure. It's a very valid point.
Yeah, briefly,
but see, at the same time, let's say this. Okay, let's say that the people, the will of the people to actually make the institutions to strengthen the institution, to make the situation work, is one thing that must be commendable. I was telling you about the former minister who is very, very sick. In fact, he was wheeled in here. He was brought in here on a wheelchair. And when I asked his wife, why are you putting him through this stress, despite the obvious pain that he's going through? The man said, no matter, he was ready to sacrifice his pain, the personal pain, to be able to contribute to the process and make Ghana better. Wow. I can't see anything better than that when you talk about patriotism.
All right.
Indeed.
We'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Tokunbo. I'm sure you'll be giving us updates as the events unfold. We expect the result within 24 hours. Tokunbo Yetunji there, our senior correspondent in Ghana, covering the Ghana elections. You're watching Newsday. Plenty more still ahead. Stay with us.